Good evening. Crisscrossing has been a trend lately in Uganda's political space as a number of players, especially those in the opposition, shift goalposts in preparation for the forthcoming election. Today, the National Unity Party has harvested 10 DP members of parliament, while 2 already crossed from FDC, the Alliance for National Transformation. On the other hand, though, the NRM seems to be reconciling with those that had fallen out, like MPs who rejected the removal of the presidential age limit. So how are parties reorganizing towards 2021 polls? Tonight we host the Honorable Winnie Kiza, former leader of opposition, Rosina Mayanja and Sereko, NRM National Treasurer, Honorable Medadi Segona, and Dr. Gerard Siranda. Welcome on the Sports Show. Gentlemen and lady, thank you so much for having honored our invitation. You are on the spot. And we'll be joined by a live link by Honorable Winnie Kiza from our home in Chalwajala. But for the three of you who are here, we'll start the discussion. I just want to start from my extreme end side of my left hand, and with you, the Honorable Medadi Segona, because I've always known you and the Democratic Party, Uganda's oldest party, that stands for ideals like truth and justice. And that is a fight that was started by the founders of your party. And I'm sure truth and justice are things that you want. Why do you move away from justice and truth?
I thought you'd first wish to know whether I've moved with truth and justice.
You have moved away from it. That's what I'm trying to say.
I want to confirm to you that whereas I've left the name and color behind, I have moved with truth and justice. The ideals for which our forefathers founded our party, then my party, the Democratic Party. I have given my reasons together with my colleagues on several occasions in the hope then that those internal contradictions would be sorted. They have not been sorted, and I found it, together with my colleagues, we found it our duty and solemn responsibility to progress with the struggle. For those that we have left behind in our former party, how I wish they could all join us, as I believe a sizable number is continuing.
If you are the captain of a ship on the high seas and your ship has issues, you just don't disembark. You work from within as a captain. As a senior member of the party, Honorable Medadi Segona, a party of your forefathers and your fathers, I think it is better on your part, really, to solve the issues from within. You just don't kick the bucket.
First, I was not in DP because it is a part of my forefathers and my fathers. Fortunately, if you wish to say, my grandfather, my father, my forefathers died. In law...
I'm talking about the political forefathers. Anyway.
I know what you mean.
I'm not talking about your biological
forefathers.
I know
forefathers. What you mean. The forefathers who died do not have a party. Because once you die, you do not own anything. But on a more serious note, let me say, of course it is with pain. I grieve, I bleed when I think of leaving the party to which I have belonged all my life, both adult and during infancy. But we had to take a conscious and cautious decision to move. Why? Because the ideals of the party are not in the name. They are not in the color. They are those ideals and aspirations of the wider membership of the party. We could no longer pursue the same in that formation because, as you mentioned, the captains and we, the members, were not in agreement as to the strategy to adopt, the strategy to pursue. And to a large extent, our convictions and consciousness and conscience could not rhyme. And because the captain of the ship had a strategy, and one of the strategies was to say, those who do not agree with my strategy, you had better pack your bags.
So you are kind
and
of
go.
person that will quit because you have disagreed with the head of the party or the chairman, the leader. So anytime you're going to quit, even where you have gone?
Because for the reason that the ideals for which the party was established, in my view, in my interpretation, could no longer be achieved through the strategies adopted by the captain of the ship.
I know you as a negotiator, a persuasive man, a person who loves debate. Why don't you use those skills that you have within the Democratic Party so that you can sort what the mess is in there instead of just moving away?
You jumped to a conclusion that I did not pursue those values of debate for which I am known. And you're right on that. I am known for debate. I am known for discussion. I am known to be I'm known for values like persuasion.
In fact, those values you're talking about are values of the Democratic Party.
True. That's why I've gone
But
with
why
them.
are you moving away from a party with such wonderful values?
I have told you that for the values, I have gone with them. So I have not left the values.
This is what
I have
this
taken
is
those
the
values.
pulse of the city, that you have realized that you are actually looking at potential defeat, because people with the momentum right now are people power. It is the party or platform for national unity. It is the party that is trendy, the party with the young people. So you want to use it, this is what I hear, as a special purpose vehicle to save yourself and save your constituency and your seat in parliament.
First of all, by the grace of God, I am not under any threat in terms of the constituency.
You are.
No, you don't know. And let me educate you, because I know. I am under no threat, and like I said, by the grace of God. But let me also say this. To a person of my age and my level, it is even an insult to think or even say that I have pegged my life to the constituency. I think there are so many things over and above the constituency. To me, I look at the parliamentary office as a platform to deliver this country, not so much as a platform for personal survival, if you wish. That's number one. Number two, when you say that remaining in my old party would mean defeat, then you're agreeing with me that there was a necessity for changing strategy. Why would it be, or even be seen, that in my old party I would lose my seat? That there is a new, this is not the first wave that has come. We've had waves before. And I've survived some of the waves, even when I was not taken up along the wave. So let me say, we took a decision to leave for the reasons we have consistently and persistently given to the public. Now, I am not the kind of person who would love or who would suffer the temptation of speaking about my old marriage, which has gone bad. I'm the kind of person who prefers to look forward and say, let me move. If you're talking about waves, for example, in 2016, there was a tide. I was swimming against the tide. And you know how much I swam across the shore, even against the tide. Why? Because we took the correct decision as a party, and I followed the instruction of the party to the letter, even at the risk of what you think is losing a constituency. I can tell you without fear of any contradiction that even if I remained in the Democratic Party, or even if I went independent, the possibility of winning the next election as Member of Parliament was still not far-fetched.
Well, of course, as somebody who is intending, as somebody who's aspiring to be a candidate again, you would not speak yourself as somebody who's weak. I'm not expecting you to say anything
It
less
is not
than
about
that. I'm not
personal.
expecting you to come here and say, yes, I'm weak, yes, I can easily lose. No. I'm expecting you even to try to pump up your own self and tell us that you can win.
Let me tell you.
That's what I expect.
You see,
But let me go to the Secretary
I
General
have run
of your
for
party.
2 elections, and you know how I've won. Resoundingly victorious. So there is no such a history of losing in my background.
I still know that no candidate can go into a race, even if they are weak, and they say they are likely to lose, because that does not give momentum to your voters or even courage. But let me go to the Secretary General of the Democratic Party, Dr. Gerard Seranda. When you look on both sides of yourself, the Honorable Medad Segona and the Honorable Rosina Mayanja, all these are former members of the Democratic Party.
And the Honorable Winichiza, who associated to DP as well.
Yes. So everybody is leaving the Democratic Party. In fact, I'm wondering you are the only one staying. I wonder when you are leaving.
No. I want to appreciate you, Kamara, and all the panelists. I don't know the producer of the day. I'm very happy with this panel, that all these members, the Honorable Winichiza associated to DP, grew up associating to the DP, the Honorable Namayanja here associated to the Democratic Party, the Honorable Segona, the former member of the Democratic Party. The dynamics on how they left may be different. The Honorable Winichiza, I don't think she was a member, but one of the parents was a very strong member that we respect in the party. Honorable Namayanja at Youthful was a member of the party, and the dynamics are different. And I think for today, we want to focus at what is happening. And we have promised ourselves as a party that is the last time, or last week, we are speaking about people who have left the party, because we are going to engage their mother party now. We will engage them as NUP, their mother party, and they will engage DP as a mother party. And we want to wish them well. Kamara, this is not the first time people are crossing from DP. You know that there was a very difficult time around 1965 when everybody crossed. And that time they crossed the ruling party, the UPC then. The members today have crossed to the opposition side. In the other round, or the other way, we want still pursue the same thing. And we hope they will remove the regime, the Honorable Namayanja, very fast. Maybe we're delaying them. and we want to wish them well in that journey. The good thing is that all of us will hold and point into the same direction. But nobody is bigger than this institution. And as the Secretary General of the party, of course, nobody would want people to leave the institution. But we don't lead a prison at the same time. We lead a political party. We have done everything, Kamara, that no leader.
To have a massive exit of members of parliament in one day.
This is not the first time,
Yes,
Kamara.
but we're talking about now. You as Secretary
Kamara,
General,
history
what is stain
No.
on the administration of you as a
History.
Secretary General, that the people who are senior members of your party have left under your administration? Something is wrong with Dr. Seranda.
We want to believe that something's wrong, but maybe time will tell. Kamara, I'm telling you that today we are very stronger, very stronger. These members of the party, we've done everything, Mr. Kamara. 90% of the members that have formalized their marriages wherever they have gone had left the party a long time ago. It's by principle that they had our party symbol as a vehicle to go to parliament, but 90% of all their actions, these are people that have never supported the party leader and our party leadership. When the party leader came to the office, they formed something called SUBI. The difference is that it was not a vehicle that had a party card. Their differences are different from the Honorable Namayanja leaving the party. 5 years after, they formed something called TJ, and they ran around with the same thing. We still went ahead and said, get a party ticket. That's a leadership that extends an olive branch to people that they want. We will have members that have today gone to another party after they left the party, formed SDP, formed PDP, formed TJ. We still said, come and we work together. We've done all that. But finally, today, Not even, I just heard from the news that people are going to be unveiled. If really you are an institution, you think you can persuade, you come and persuade colleagues and say, on this line, this is what we're taking. I had a show. Me and I respect he loves being called a former Secretary General, now he's former. Him, the chairman, and other people who claim to have been leaders of the party, they have damned the institution. Mr. Kamara, history has been written today and will be judged. Norbert Mao might be bad. Siranda might be bad. Mayambala might be bad. Mbide might be bad. But all we will go, but let the institution stay. We have had colleagues who have formalized their living today that even when we had endorsed DP candidates in different constituencies, they went around mobilizing them, whitewashing, stamping with an umbrella. But really, if you want the party, I think all of us would work for this institution to survive, so that when we are not there tomorrow, another person comes and takes charge, because we are not the first people that have led this party.
Okay,
so
it looks like the two of you and the other people I've listened to, you seem to have actually lost focus on what the problem is or what you want to solve for Uganda. Look, the people who would be pulling from one side and fighting together, you're now fighting amongst yourselves. And they can see the Honorable Namayanja and company are like, look at them.
For me, Kamara...
I'm saying, look at them. The people who are supposed to be our political adversaries are busy
I would be very
wallowing themselves.
I would be very saddened.
And tomorrow, 2021, when you are really defeated at the polls, you have yourselves to blame because you have spent most of the time fighting amongst yourselves.
This is what political parties are for. Political parties, yes. That's why we're a political party. I am different. I come from Palisa. He comes from Busiro. That's why we come together. And for us, I think persuasion is key. And if we can't, then you can't stay in the same vehicle. For me, I'm very happy that they went to a side where we continue focusing on the same thing. The difference is if DP has remained stronger or weaker is a yes and no. These are very strong members. It sends a very bad signal. But there are also 90% of the members that are very happy of this. Kamara, I want to let the public to know that in 2016, we waived off primaries for all these members. The biggest problem for many of them was primaries. We waived the primaries because many of them wouldn't go through the process of primaries. They're very good legislators, not very good in building the party. And when you go to, when your party gives you a symbol, or when you apply to run on your party, build the institution, build the party, move together. We cannot agree on the same line. Maybe we may disagree on strategy, but let's complement each other. We should be a team. But the waves in Uganda have played a very key role. The Honorable Winnie Kiza's thing, I want to refer to her because it's a different on how she's moved to the different thing. Hers is not a wave. We have had a problem with wave. We had the reform agenda in 2001. Because we did not plan on how to go to reform agenda, it ended up in FDC. Okay. People went.
Okay,
we've had.
All right.
Can I just summarize this?
Yes, if you could.
We have a challenge in people that only believe in a wave. The party must survive amidst the waves. And I want to let you, Kamara, know that everywhere where members have left, DP will have a person because the party is bigger than individuals. And the individuals that we sent those constituencies and people sent them, we will still send DP and people will determine.
So you think Medadi has not gone with Busiro?
No. Busiro is bigger than Medad. And the DP is bigger than Honorable Segona.
So let me come to you, Honorable Rose Namayanja. You know, you are in the ruling party, NRM. Is this your work? Divide and rule. Is this your work? I can see your hand. Is this your work? Because the way how you look at them, and I'm sure you're thinking, look at them. It's working for you, isn't it?
Well, first, Patrick.
It's working for you.
Thank you so much for inviting us, and a great pleasure to be with my brothers here and my sister. And for me, what is happening right now, it's not an accident. It's as a result of the foundations of these political parties and the intentions. You know, the words you used, I like the choice of the words you used. You said realignment, aligning and harvesting, that NUP is harvesting and NRM is reconciling. Those are two different words meaning different things. For us as NRM, And I really want our public to know that whenever the opposition says that NRM stole elections and you know, there was rigging here and there, it is as a result of this. And it reminds me of an old man in the village who was looking after his goat, and it got malnourished. It could not give it grass, could not give it water, and a week before the market day, he started giving it grass, and at the end of the day, he could not sell that goat the price that he wanted, and he had himself to blame. And he came out and said that I think I was wrong to start fattening the goat on the market day. So this is what is happening, and I want them to accept, in fairness, that when NRM wins elections, it is not because of rigging, but it is because, you know, I mean, you are talking about reconciliation. The harvesting you are talking about, if I may use that word harvesting, we started a long time ago when this cabinet was being formed, and the chairman of the NRM, who is the president and who won elections, formed a cabinet that incorporated even people that had stood on DP ticket. For us, we started the journey from the word go to begin building. But Honorable Rose Namayanja,
UAS is not a political party.
That's what
you cannot compare yourselves with them, because you are fused with the state. You're using state infrastructure.
No, but
it is in the open.
Party,
the RDCs, the DISUs,
Uganda is
the
not,
generals in the army.
That's
you are
not
using
it.
State resources. You cannot compare yourself with a party like NUP or DP because you are fused within the state.
You're
one and the same.
There are many parties world over that have failed elections, that have lost. There are some that have not even survived one single election cycle. But what I'm telling you is that, and I like the word my brother said.
Let me just refresh your
let
mind.
me just put it
yes,
this
a few
way.
days ago, you know, members of your party were involved in processions, you know, some kind of a campaign, rallies. Let them there to do the same. Their rallies will be cracked violently.
No,
that's a fact.
No, let me just
Koboko,
go to the basics.
It was in Lira and other places.
And we have people who have been arrested in our very own party who have gone against, for instance, these SOPs, the COVID standard operating procedures.
You have flouted them.
And the Secretary General came out openly,
with total
and
disregard.
which I want to reiterate, that if any NRM member who is campaigning and is doing processions and everything, the security agencies, the organs must arrest those people. But I want to go to the fundamentals. Honorable Segona said this wave. For us, we have seen, you know, wave politics is different from ideological orientation.
Politics.
Where there is ideological deficiency, that's when people go with this wave, go with the other wave. And I liked the way Dr. Siranda put it, that there was Subi, there was TJ, there was... In 2015, I saw my brother, Honorable Segona, joining Go Forward. I don't know whether it was a political party or anything, but he was like, I think this time round, and I liked the way he put it, that, you know, in the 2011 elections, they did not get, they were unable to field or to have polling agents in 9,000.
And you heard that from me?
Yes, in 9,000 polling stations. And that time round, he was joining the Right Honorable Mama Mbabazi because he had a force that he was moving with. So wave politics is the problem of the opposition. And for us, we started a long time ago. We are reorganizing. We are reconciling with our members that we seem to have had issues here and there. And I'll tell you, it's actually this wave or realignment. It is more of political survival, political personal survival than ideological survival.
Well, this is
for
what
us,
this is what I put for Honorable Segona.
Democracy, socio-economic transformation, and patriotism. And those are the foundations upon which we stand. And I'm not surprised, in 1 week, we had 2,000 members coming to register, to pick forms for expression of interest as to contest in the NRM
but
primaries.
You cannot be talking about being grounded in ideology, yet we know for sure that the Democratic Party, you know, has ideas and the values.
There are peoples that must drive that ideology.
And values.
But if the peoples are not...
You yourself You left the Democratic Party. You are not
Yeah,
grounded in ideology.
and how many years ago? That was 1996.
And I still believe,
And I've taken
I
this
still
time.
believe, Honorable Rosina Mayanja, that maybe you are in NRM because that's where you can eat from,
No.
and you are in
That is
DP because
different,
that's
and-
where your conviction is.
And what was there to eat in DP, you know? And today, by the way, and this is what I want the public
The
to
politics
take.
of
I
one
doubt-
OND,
I-
one OND.
No,
This is
no,
what
no,
you are
no,
doing.
no,
But let
no,
me...
that's not the case, and it is wrong. I don't want to believe that Honorable Segona went somewhere or changed or shifted because he was going to eat from
But
NUP.
you have just said that
So
many
you
have
cannot-
known that the NUP can be the special purpose vehicle that can take them to parliament
You
or
know
even
the
give
special,
them...
you know, when you say taking them to parliament, for me, why I sympathize with my colleagues is that the leader of NUP came out and said that the only reason that I am going to contest is to remove President Museveni. And that is his agenda, just to want to remove President Museveni.
Okay,
For us, our
me to
agenda
bring
is
in,
very clear
allow
and
me
grounded
to, allow
on the
me to bring in
ideological-
the Honorable Winnie Kiza, who is joining us by live link from her home, her beautiful home in Ichaluwajala. Honorable Kiza, if you can hear me, welcome to On the Spot. Problem to connect to Honorable Kiza in where she is, but I would have wanted to hear from you, and I have a question for you, Honorable Kiza, because you just moved to recently, and you are telling us that you want to take a break from elective politics. Honorable Kiza, understand now we can be able to connect to you. I understand you are taking a break from elective politics.
I'm glad to be with my colleagues, the Honorable Segona, my dear friend Dr. Seranda, and my sister Namayanja.
Okay, I understand you are taking a break from elective politics, but as you take a break, you have also announced that you are joining.
Hello.
That you are joining the Alliance for National Transformation. What
Hello,
is going-
Kamara.
Yes, what's going to be your role in anti-party for the next 5 or 10 years? Okay, I'm going to repeat this question once more, and perhaps if you don't get me, then I'll have my technical people try to work hard to rectify whatever problem there is. I understand you are taking a break, Honorable Kiza, from elective politics, but yet you have announced that you are going to join the Alliance for National Transformation. Looks like we're having a technical issue. We'll be reconnecting with those people later. Let me come back to the studio with you, Honorable Medadi Segona. Today, somebody sent a WhatsApp.
And I told the
Okay. I think we're going to connect to Honorable Kiza much later because it appears she's having issues getting us here, or at least hearing us. And as we try to connect that, let me come to you, Honorable Medadi Segona. I've just seen a WhatsApp message that is moving around. And somebody has cleverly put your names, all those who have moved. And he's saying Medadi Segona from, let's say, Koboko, so and so from Leader. All of the 12 of you, none of you have said you are coming from the center here. Either you are from Toro, you are from Busoga, you are from Agago, and things like that. This is what they're trying to say, that it appears the members of the Democratic Party who have joined National Unity Platform, are all from the center. What are you going to do to avoid the party you have joined, not just to look like Buganda-centric?
Well, Patrick, this is day one of our departure from the Democratic Party. Watch the space. Nobody mentions, and I think it's deliberate, that we have Patrick Katuram, who is the former deputy treasurer of the Democratic Party, disputed by my brother Siranda, I don't care. You have Godwin Angalia Kasigwa from Bunyoro, who was a member of the National Executive Committee of the Democratic Party. You don't mention that one.
Yeah, but you know why? Because the high name recognition of the people who don't have to label to say who is that are people, men of substance, yes, from here at the center. And it's going to appear for some people that this is a Buganda-centric kind of entity. And yet you are trying to have a national appeal. What are you going to do?
What makes that high name? First, because we are members of parliament, right? So you want me to apologize for my party having fewer or no members from other regions, which is not my work. The president has been our president for the last 10 years. He says he's national. How many people has he brought up from elsewhere?
Is that the former party or the current party?
I refer to my former party, the Democratic Party. Of course, Honorable Chagulanyi has not been party president for 10 years. It's axiomatic. One day when asked why this happens, he says because the parties were suspended but remained here. So it required massaging, and I asked him why he was only massaging one part of the body. So you're going to see many other people join this platform. Obviously, you want to know that the platform has leaders from everywhere. Today we have come, tomorrow you will see other people. Let me tell Honorable Namanja and all those others watching and listening, if anyone doesn't fear waves, it's me. In 2016, I told you I swam against the wave because my party, the Democratic Party, then decided to ally, and I supported the principle of alliance with the Right Honorable Amama Mbabazi, and we worked together. Even when things appeared rough, I decided to swim against the tide. So I am not the kind of person who would fear waves. Number two, I don't know how much time. She says she's my sister. She's my mchala, my Koja's wife. So how much time she spends listening and saying that, you know, I said we go with the waves. I am not moved by the waves. I am moved by principles. And let me repeat for the last time. For the values that we espoused as members of the Democratic Party, I can tell you, we have walked away with them. We have left behind one thing, maybe two, the color and the name. Unfortunately, we could not walk away with them. We have walked away with the aspirations of the people of the Democratic Party. And I agree with Gerard when he says this should be the last time, really. We should be talking about my former party, our former members, our former colleagues, our former leaders. Because our focus today, and the reason we have decided to take the route we have taken, is to strengthen ourselves, be it strengthen ourselves within 1 week, within 1 day, to be able to confront the enemy. It is not true that we are looking at the removal of President Museveni alone, but it is a preliminary, it is a precursor to democratization.
Okay, hold on, Honorable Medadi, Dr. Siranda and Honorable Rose Namayanja, hold on to your points because you're going to take a very quick break. And when we come back, we shall try also to reconnect with the Honorable Winnie Kiza, and I hope the technology will be able to allow us to do that so that we can hear from her and why she's taking a break from elective politics. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching On the Spot. My name is Patrick Amara, and my guests tonight are Honorable Rose Namayanja, Dr. Gerard Seranda, Honorable Medad Segona, and we also have away to Nchalwa Jala, the Honorable Winnie Kiza. I hope now, Winnie Kiza, you can be able to hear me. And I'm going to repeat the question that Dalia asked, is that why you declare that you're going to be getting out of elective politics, but yet you also told the rest of us and the rest of Uganda that you are joining Alliance for National Transformation. I just wonder what's going to be your role in the anti-party, and yet you're not into elective politics.
Thank you, my brother Kamara and my other panelists, the Honorable Rose Namayanja, Dr. Seranda, the Honorable Medad Segona. It's an honor for me to be on the spot. Indeed, on the 14th of July, I announced to the world that I'm not seeking re-election in the Kasese woman parliamentary elections. By saying I'm not seeking re-election in the Kasese parliamentary elections for the woman MP, I did not say I'm going away from politics. And therefore, my going to the Alliance for National Transformation has no relationship with my not seeking re-election as a woman member of parliament for Kasese district. So the two are separate. It's not that I'm coming to the Alliance for National Transformation to seek re-election again. No.
What's going to be your role in the alliance?
Hello?
What is going to be your role in the alliance?
Of course, as a party member now, just like it's a role of every party member, is to ensure that I participate in building this party. It is indeed a role of every party member to ensure that they build the party, make it a party that will be attractive to all Ugandans, and I think it will be one of those roles that I will be happy to play in the Alliance for National Transformation, together with the other members of the party.
What do you tell the people in Kasese and the rest of Uganda who say, look, for them they are convinced that your political clout and your star and your light in Kasese was fading, and so you decided to take a move to actually avoid a potentially embarrassing situation where a former leader of opposition could lose an election in Kasese, and that, they say, was actually a move which could say was a clever one.
You know, those who are fond of and actually interested in clinging on to power will say that. But you know, for me, even when I came to politics, this is a thing I had committed myself to doing even before I became leader of opposition. I had told the people of Kasese when I was seeking re-election, some elders, that when I get this term, I'm not going to seek re-election again. So even when I became leader of opposition, I had to stick to the promise that I made to the elders. Secondly, I have been preaching against overstaying in power. So I would imagine that even if I was leader of opposition, it would not stop me from saying, let me step aside so that another Ugandan can take on the mantle. Being a leader of opposition would not make me stick on to power, no.
You are joining a party, with all respect, it lacks momentum. You are joining a party that, if we look into the recent poll that was done, the Governance Pulse survey, it shows that Alliance for National Transformation and your party leader are really performing poorly in some of the surveys that we have done. What makes you think that you have joined a party that really is going to be the party that can change the leadership or even give us the end of an era and the beginning of another?
Yes, Kamara, if I really wanted to say I want to join a party for purposes of being on top of things, maybe I would have thought of joining the NRM. But the fact that I'm joining a party which is young, and I know it's young, even when the opinion polls indicated that the Alliance for National Transformation is at 0.3, I still proud to be associated with it and feel I should be part of those who will work for the party, build the party, make it strong, and put it up there. Secondly, I believe in values. And being a person who believes in values, being a person who believes in systems, being a person who believes in the strength of others, I believe that together with those who are in the party that I'm joining, we shall build this party and make it a stronger party that everybody will want to belong to.
You are a member of FDC and you're a senior member of FDC, and the party president of anti-party was even at one time a party president. When you talk about values in anti-party being good values, that means actually you are telling us an FDC where you were a senior member, people had no values.
Kamara, I wouldn't want to discuss the values of FDC here. I wouldn't want to discuss whether they have values or no values, because it's a party I have equally participated in building. If you want to know, I was a member of the Reform Agenda, which eventually became the Forum for Democratic Change. And if you want to know, and actually I think the world knows, that I'm one of those who participated in building the Forum for Democratic Change. But I believe that at this time, I can feel comfortable working with the Alliance for National Transformation, because I believe my energies will be best used in the building and working together with the other members of the Alliance for National Transformation.
When you are leader of opposition, and also we also know that accountability committees of parliament are actually headed by opposition members, do you believe there's no space to make a contribution when you're an opposition member of parliament or leader, to make a contribution in the democratic process of Uganda?
Yes, I am privileged to have served as the leader of the opposition, and I believe that members of the opposition have played a big role in the democratization of this country. We have advised government, we have held government accountable, we have let the world know that really opposition is equally necessary in building the state. And I believe that we shall continue fighting for space, even when I know that space is limited for opposition political parties. I want to take you to the question you asked me, that the Alliance for National Transformation is not known, the party leader is not known. It could be true, but you should know that this is a young party, a party that has just started. But I know that together with other opposition political parties, we shall be able to prove to the world that we can do politics. Even when we are in different political parties, we can make this country proud again. We can make Uganda a better place for everyone to live in. So political parties, and most especially those in the opposition, have done a great role in exposing the rot that is in government, in helping society to understand that we still have a long way to go to fight for good governance, to fight for the rule of law, to separate the state from the ruling party, to separate parliament from the executive, to separate the executive from the judiciary. These are issues that we have been grappling with as a country, and these are issues that we have discussed as members of the opposition, and I think we have tried our best.
And my second last question, Honorable Winnie, where do you see you as members of the opposition, especially when you have come from FDC, which is one of the biggest opposition political parties, that could not field candidates in all the constituencies, let alone the district LOC5 positions, and yet you can even dream of taking the #1 position of the presidency. You know, there are over 1.6 elective positions in Uganda. I wonder if FDC or anti-party can field a quarter of candidates in those elective positions across our country.
You know, Kamara, you may talk about a party not fielding candidates in the country. It is true we did not field when I was in the FDC. We did not field in all constituencies of the country. But that does not mean that the Ugandans are not seeing the ills in our society. even when we did not have candidates in areas that, in other areas of the country. But the people of Uganda know very well that FDC had a message, that FDC talked on behalf of Ugandans. Even right now, as we continue to build systems in the opposition political parties, it is not about those other areas. You may talk about the elections in America, for example. They have a government that doesn't have the majority members of parliament. You will see a government in power, but not with majority of members of parliament. It happened in America. So here, the fact that FDC could not have members of parliament did not mean that FDC was unpopular. FDC was popular. They could have had less members of parliament, but the presidential candidate could have had the win. And indeed, we said the win, we had it, it was snatched from us. The Namayanjas know.
All right, let me ask a last question to you, Honorable Winnie Keys, and if you allow me latitude, it's going to be a little bit a personal question, because I know,
yes,
I know in your family, members of your family are in FDC, and now you have crossed to Alliance for National Transformation. I wonder whether you are constantly
yes,
trying to convince your family members to go with you, or when you're on your dinner table, you are having your politics and campaigning to know who goes from where to where, because you have a rare opportunity of having served with your dear husband in the same parliament, but he was still in FDC. I wonder where Mr. Bwambale is.
Thank you for asking me that question, Mr. Kamara. Kamara, I want to tell you I'm a Democrat. I believe in democracy. I believe in people's freedoms. I believe in justice and respect of people's values and aspirations. I grew up in a family where my mother was a member of the Uganda People's Congress and my father was a member of the Democratic Party. That's why sometimes the happenings in the Democratic Party, I feel a little bit sad because it's my late father's party. And to me, I grew up knowing that tolerance and respect for each other was a norm. I'm not going to force my family members to join the party that I'm in. I will give them the freedom to choose. I will only have the duty to let them understand what we in the Alliance for National Transformation believe in. But if I may let you know, actually my husband is one of the promoters. He has taken it upon himself to preach to me the values and aspirations of the Alliance for National Transformation. And I'm glad to say that at least my husband and I are in the same party now.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe now our children and my other family members, we are going to take it upon ourselves as we carry this mobilization drive to the entire country. My members of the family who are not yet members of the Alliance for National Transformation will have a right to choose whether they belong to the Alliance for National Transformation or not. I will not be in the habit of coercing anyone. I believe in tolerance. I believe in respecting people's issues. That is even the reason why I can tolerate those who may abuse me, insult me, because I believe that each one has a right to belong where they will belong. So I really will not say I will coerce anyone, but it will be my duty to let them understand that there is a party called Alliance for National Transformation, which believes in tolerance, which believes in accountability, which is value-based. And I would want to invite Ugandans to really join this party and be part of it so that together we can build a strong party that will transform this country.
The Honorable Winnie Kiza, former leader of opposition, now you've joined Alliance for National Transformation. We thank you so much for your time and we appreciate your insights and wish you well wherever you're going. And remember, all these words that you talk are on record, so we'll be coming back to cross-check. Just maybe let us keep hope alive that whatever you are doing will be successful. And as you try to continue convincing your own family members, I think your job is starting from within your home alone to be able to preach the gospel that you want.
Thank you, Kamara. I would like to begin with you. Join the Alliance for National Transformation.
my kind of profession and occupational
Thank you.
requirement do not allow me to go anywhere for the time being, unless you don't want me to do this job, because I cannot declare anything. All right, thank you so much. Winnie Kiza, leader of opposition formerly, and now we've heard from her. We are letting her go, and so that we can concentrate on this discussion. Very briefly.
Yes, you were asking me.
Yes.
I was telling you, contrary to what the Honorable Namayanja says or thinks, in the opposition, we've done our part. It is not true that we said we did not have agents everywhere. What is true is that, yes, we did not field candidates everywhere. Of course, she knows the surrounding. If you have places like Chiruhura, where they will bundle up and arrest your agents, if you asked Honorable Gerard Karuhanga what happened to him by 10 o'clock, all his agents are arrested by the military. I think our resolve, our tenacity, and our commitment to this country is to, one, to demilitarize, demonetize politics, separate the ruling party from the state. And if you are to do all those, she said we are concentrating and focusing on removing the Yoweri. Yes, as a precursor to doing all that, you must remove the stumbling block. The stumbling block is none other than Yoweri. You can give us that challenge. In 1980, for example, Yoweri Museveni's party did not field candidates in even 5% of the constituencies. And today, he can proudly talk about winning. Let me give assurance to this country. It is our commitment. It's a generational commitment. It's a national commitment that we will get there sooner than later. To my former party, I think it was a big accusation that we did not build institutions. No, actually they did not build institutions. If you want to know how we built institutions, go to every constituency where you had a DP member of parliament, even where you found like 10 or 5% structures. We built structures to the extent that where I found about 3 councillors, I have left the party with 90% councillors. And now as I leave, because they are following me, you do not blame me. I worked with them. They know the troubles I've gone through. I have not demobilized anywhere. Now, if I can demobilize, then it's a vote of no confidence in yourselves, okay, that I can successfully demobilize. Is it that I have taught a lot about the deficiency of ideology as
let me bring in Honorable Rosina Mayanja here, because we have taken more time without. I have seen, people being harassed. Because why? They have, and harassed by the state. And I'm saying the state because NRM is not a state, but you are the NRM is the party in power. I can give you an example of a young man in Mubende. I think his name is Bob Chamanywa. Because he just wants to stand for a position there. And somebody said, the Honorable Bobby Wine is coming. The police come and then they lock him into, put him under house arrest, and his entire family. And these cases are so many, And this is the party that is in power. The way how you are using that power, you are abusing it.
First of all, I don't want to comment on something that I'm not privy to, like the case you have.
Okay, I may not say that, but there are many other issues you are privy to. The issue
Bob Wine was blocked from accessing a radio station in Imbale, where he had paid.
No, but
for Mubende, they only heard that he was he's likely to come. He was not even there.
You people, when I was starting here, you talked about processions, and I gave you the position of the party very clearly. And I said we have committed ourselves and ensured that our members, we have given information to our members to ensure that please comply with the standard operating procedures. I remember the other time when Honorable Chagulanyi went to CBS, he came out and it was a rally, a procession, and really under the circumstances we are operating in. Today as we speak, the cases of COVID-19, positive cases in Kampala are increasing every now and then. So for us to reach a level where we are saying we reduce the numbers at our secretariat, We ensure we have regional nominations. It is in compliance with that. It's not that we are doing contrary to what we are preaching. But just allow me to say one thing, that at the NRM Secretariat where we sit at that place, and we do have a panoramic view of the entire political landscape in this country. And for somebody to quit elective politics, I would say on the eve of campaigns, it's not just an accident, but it's the dynamics on the ground. They are changing. I wouldn't wish to go so much into that. And when you talk about good governance, because these are the principles that we espouse. When you talk about democracy in NRM, it starts with the internal dynamics in the party. If you see one members leaving one party,
where is the democracy
Patrick,
when you are ring-fencing positions? For
Patrick,
example,
let me put this very clear.
Presidential flag bearer has not been challenged. You mean?
But we have not stopped anybody else, because
of course people have been intimidated.
The announcement was very clear for presidential flag bearer.
There was a guy called Simba, at least.
Simba did not contest for presidential flag bearer. Simba wanted to be the national chairman of the party, not presidential flag bearer. But you heard what Dr. Silanda said. He said, for these guys, we waived off primaries. Meaning that you can actually say that where people sit in a room like this and say, you are taking this constituency, you are taking this constituency. In NRM, we don't do that. Right now, we have people contesting against Haji Gongo. We have people contesting against the Right Honorable Kadaga. We have, I mean, Nadul is a historical.
Well, it is only of today that I have heard Matayo Chalogonza is going to be contested against. I remember the days when Audric Wabogo tried and was stopped.
That's internal democracy. And when you talk about good governance, that Honorable Nabira Nagai can go to Najana Nkumbi, and it's a fiasco. She can't even get a nomination paper. That is not democracy that they are preaching. But for us, I just want to appeal to our members that we have done the preliminaries, and to the entire country to join the party that espouses the principles that we talk about. And for us, as members are moving from one party to the other, and I liked the way Honorable Segona said that this is day one. I mean, we are just into the election, and we're looking at day one. But for us, we have finished the preliminaries. Prior to COVID, we concluded our registration of members. Right now, we are into primaries for all the positions. We cut out primaries right from the village level. And I've told you we have had 2,000 members, over 2,000 members picking nomination forms for primaries for being members of parliament and chairpersons of LC5. Right now, we are grappling with the standard operating procedures to ensure that despite the dynamics that we are operating in of COVID-19, we have finished to have our SEC that precedes the National Executive Council. On Tuesday, we are having the National Executive Council. We shall have the National Conference in a bid to ensure that we follow the constitution, or the NRM party constitution, but at the same time comply to the standard operating procedures, and then have our Central Executive Committee elected, have our presidential flag bearer endorsed by the National Conference, and be ready for nominations in 2021. And that shows the level of preparedness, and nobody should say that an election has been rigged when you are just on day one and others have moved those miles.
Dr. Siranda, I'm not a prophet of doom, but I really see total demolition. Total demolition.
I don't think so, but I think my sister, Honorable Ramayanja, should use the courts in terms, in Uganda, the real parties are the ones that we think are weaker. Because these are real parties where there will be competition. In Uganda, for now, the reality is we have two parties in Uganda, real political parties. You have the DP with the DNA of a political party, and you have the UPC. The rest are built out of an emotion, and you have now the NRM that is a bit, you have a head of state, you have a head of state who is at the same time running as the chairman. And when you mention, there are several, I wouldn't want to go into that, but I think every party has got its own dynamics. I know that many members have moved from DP, but there are also 2 MPs that have moved from NRM. That is not mentioned anywhere. You know, you have sitting MPs in Nambeshe, you have a sitting MP in Oshabe moving to the system. And we know, Mr. Kamara, that there is a man called Meja Maguru who was even taken to Ruzira. That he was to Butavika, who was mentally sick because he attempted to go and run against the national chairman of NRM. But I think for NRM, they are only very stable because they have a sitting president. That's why everybody now, even if he has failed to provide food, they say Museveni Atuyambe, he's become a system. And for me, that's very dangerous. But I want to appreciate the people that are running the NRM, Honorable Namayanja and my sister Justine, for accepting to do a progress discussion around multi-party growth. We cannot discuss transition without the involvement of the NRM. They are key stakeholders. I am not part of people that think we shall cut off your head, we shall do ABCD. We cannot transform to where we want to see the country without the sitting regime. They are key people, they are people who believe in it, and it's our role to make sure we run a multi-party system with them. And I want colleagues in NRM to realize that it is very important for them to use the courts, the strength that they have today to build a proper system that they will benefit from tomorrow when things change. There was a party called KANU. Today they struggle to have 3 senators in the House. They used to call Moi Baba, basically like God. And today that's history. Nkwame Nkrumah's party does not exist today. They just show you that that's where it used to exist. And for me, it's because when you are in the regime, when you're in the government, sometimes you forget to build a structure that will help you tomorrow when you leave. And when I come to our home, I am happy that the Honorable Segona and the team are now in a party that we shall engage as a sister party. Former members of DP, we appreciate whatever contribution that they did. And given our history of olive branch and good leadership, you're still welcome, Honorable Segona. We, under Article 80 of our party, the moment you associate to anything that is contrary to DP, you automatically, willingly or unknowingly move out of the DP. To come back, there is an olive branch. Your constituency is typical DP. You know what is happening there. We will welcome you. I will do everything possible within my own ability to welcome you to the party. You just have to apply the waiver, and then you go to the processes of the party. I want the DP members out there to know that we only serve this party. I might not be the best person you want. You may not like me, but let's work for the party's survival because our institution is key. I was telling you that members that moved to the FDC, Reform Agenda and then FDC, up to today, we are leaking upon the wounds inflicted upon ourselves. We cannot do the same mistake. We are going to do whatever cooperation. Tomorrow, we are picking the forms for Honorable Norbert Mao, our party leader now, who we are going to take to a process of the NEC, because for DP, the National Delegate Conference is the party primaries for the presidential flag bearer. And the party president automatically is the presidential flag bearer for our party. We are having the National Executive Committee meeting on Wednesday. Automatically, members that have acquired new leadership, new membership, don't qualify.
Very good, Honorable Segona.
And I think that process is very key to where we are heading in terms of cooperation. We believe that the DP should field a candidate, but we also believe that there is no single person in Uganda that can single-handedly run an outmass of President Museveni. We'll go to a process of a coalition where we are taking a person who we believe has the best credentials for a party. Okay. If at all the delegate conference confirms him as a person that is going to run, the party continues to exist, and we believe, and like I said, that no individual is stronger than the party. There are several members.
You made your point. You made your point, Dr. Seranda.
The exit of some of the members actually create an opportunity for several members.
Honorable Segona, you are known as an individual who can swim against the current. And now, again, you seem to be, you have joined NUP. Are you going to show the tactics of swimming against the current in Busuru and you win, so that NUP can be the party that we can see its leader in the State House in Tebe 2021?
I think we have made an undertaking to the country that we will do all within our means to change the regime peacefully. Today, I witnessed the signs of that possibility. We were in Kamwacha, we were surrounded by members, and they never attacked the population, the people. I want to applaud the police for their conduct today. Previously, we have witnessed the skirmishes instigated by the police. Just today, I received a telephone call from Wachiso. There was a rumor that I would be meeting about 10 people in my own structure. And the police was moving all over saying, Segona is coming, as if I'm alien, as if I'm not the sitting member of parliament for that place. I think with such attitude, it is going to be difficult. It is going, I can predict there are going to be skirmishes if that is the attitude. But if the police continue to exhibit what they exhibited in Kamwacha today, I think we are moving on course. If you witness what my sister, as she says, Honorable Namanja said, they have been acting what they preach. It has been in Koboko, it is Evelyn Anite. You go to Bushenyi, you find it is the Honorable Minister for Justice breaking that law. You go to the same area, you find Genotafile. Go to Sinjiro, you find it is Kangwaje. ETC, everywhere, NRM. For them, they are princes. When they break this law, it is okay, including the Minister for Health, by the way. But that said, and notwithstanding, one, thank you, Mr. Gerard Seranda, for saying I'm still welcome. NDP, I do things differently. You had the opportunity, and this is what we preached while we were still inside.
Still there.
We pleaded and said, can we reform now? As he says those things, if they were practicing them, we would not be where we are. As he was talking to me quietly, please let us reconcile. Yeah. The party president was outside addressing the press, telling people we are bats, we should go, we are flying, we do not lay eggs, etc. I think, and this goes to all parties. Mome, we are creeping plants who cannot creep around our own president because he's not creepable. Anyway, I think this goes to all parties, including my new party. The moment you do not practice internal democracy, you're headed for disaster. One, because internal democracy, democratic principles are enshrined in the national constitution. Two, democratic principles are not only enshrined but encrypted in people's minds, in people's conscience, that there is a limit to authoritarianism and these parties.
All right. Well,
working together with the Democratic Party, speaking calmly to each other, they're welcome. I mean, we can talk to anyone. Even Yoweri Museveni is welcome.
All right, Honorable Medadi, Honorable Rose Namayanja, and Dr. Seranda, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, I'll open the line so that you too can be a part of this discussion. You see the numbers on the screen. Please call us and make your contribution brief and precise. And should you disagree with the panelists here, please disagree with respect. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching On the Spot. My name is Patrick Amara. My guest tonight are Honorable Rose Namayanja, Dr. Gerard Seranda, and Honorable Medadi Segona. Earlier we had Honorable Winnie Kiza. And now we will be opening the line so that you can be a part of this discussion. You'll see the number on the screen. You call us and tell us what you think. If you have a question, please be specific whom you want that question to be directed to. And I have a call online. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Kevin.
Yes, Kevin, you're on air.
I'm back from Kibuye.
Yes, you're on air, Kevin, from Kibuye.
Now.
I have a problem with that telephone line to Kevin in Kibuye, so I'm going to, I'm sorry, I'll have to drop that and pick another. I hope the one we pick will be okay. The numbers on your screen. Let me take a call online. Hello? Hello?
Hello, NTV Uganda.
Yes, good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Kowa Haman and I'm calling from Kibale, Kopti.
Kibale, you're on air, Haman.
Yes, I want to ask you, Uganda, that why didn't they... Yes, please, hello?
Yes, go right ahead.
Mbuza, Uganda. nti lwaki tebatereza ensonga hello.
Okay. I think you have made your point. Why can't they just try to solve the issues within the party? I think that's what you're trying to say. Let me pick another call online. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good evening. Kato from Makerere.
From Makerere, you're on air.
Yes, I'm asking Honorable Medad
Yes.
that where is the difference between him and the president? He has been in parliament for now 10 years, and he wants to outseat the president who has been in a seat for more than 35 years. And he's trying to give us the same example like King 7. Now he's trying to change from DP to Loop to the same example of changing of President 7 changing from movement now to NRM. Where is the difference? Or is also trying to play his political card for his own benefit and not for the benefit of the country.
Thank you so much, our caller from Makerere. I think your question was clear. Let me take another call online. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm Stephen Pizza calling all the way from Nakaseke.
Nakaseke, you're on air, Stephen.
And I'm a DP member.
Okay, go right ahead, sir.
Pardon?
Go right ahead.
What has happened today to my party has long been overdue. I am one of those members that toiled to see that we come together and make a DP stronger. But indeed we failed. The formation of TJ, the formation of Suvi was in a bid to see to it that we can stand as DP together and win the president. Nothing get it. But I can tell you, I'm wondering why Mr. Gerard Chiranda is not coming out really to explain the reasons as to why they have failed to put in place our issues we have been raising. Let me tell you, Mr. Gerard Chiranda, the court was made National Council to sit. Our party constitution says that the moment the National Council sits, where I belong, where I'm a member, our responsibility was to fill in the vacancy. Since the former Secretary General died, you have worked to see to it that we don't fill that place. So those are the issues we have been raising. There are about 7 to 8 positions that remain vacant. But up to now, not until this.
All right. Looks like, but you made your point, I'm sure, and you said what happened today was bound to happen because of some issues within the party. I have another caller online. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Kamara.
Good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Mike and I'm calling from Nansana.
Mike, in Nansana, you're on air, sir.
I have questions to Begonia and the former opposition leader.
Okay.
Whereas we appreciate the journey they have started, I have a feeling that they are equally taking the mentality they had from their former parties that they are also taking to the new parties. For instance, if you look at General Mugisa Muntu, he had been the president of FTC. When he formed the ANT, I don't think he has rewashed his brain of whatever was happening at the FTC. It is the same Mugisa Muntu who has going to start that, and it will still have the same. Now what will happen if at all he president, will he also form another Uganda, or he will still remain in the Uganda of either General Museveni or another person who will be there? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think I'll just take one more caller and then we could let the panelists respond to some of the issues that you have raised tonight. Let me take a call online. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good evening, sir. My name is Asadi. I'm calling from Dubai.
You are in Dubai. Go right ahead, sir.
I would like to be clear. I would like to ask Madam Honorable Kiza Winnie.
Yes, go right ahead.
Hello?
Go right ahead, sir. Just make your statement.
Thank you so much. My name is Asadi. I'm calling from Dubai.
Okay. Our caller in Dubai, I don't know what happened, but it looks like you are listening to your own echo. The problem is that if you are going to call, please you turn down the volume of your TV, then it will not give you an echo. But if you turn up the volume, we cannot have a health conversation because that will send an echo to us and to you and it will confuse you. Always turn down the volume of your TV, then you can have a better conversation with us in the studio. And for that matter, we didn't get to hear what our caller in Dubai wanted to ask. But unfortunate also is that Winnie Kiza is not on the show for now. She's already left. Okay. Fortunately for you, maybe you seem not to be getting many questions. So, Segona.
I think two questions
Yes.
were directed at me, although the second wasn't clear because somebody was asking about me and General Mugisha Muntu that we're carrying the same mentality. And on day one into this new party, he's judging me by what I'm coming with. I think just take your time, my brother. Stay calm and see what I have in store in terms of what I will do with my new party. I think in the old party, I have been a member. I have been a legal advisor in the district of Wachiso. I went to the position of Secretary General, even as disputed. You can see that for the little time I have been Secretary General, I've been locked outside my office. When I went with others to the new party, you can see the reaction. Now that is the kind of leadership I can demonstrate. Another gentleman asked me the difference between me and General Museveni. Please do not insult me. I am sure you are literate enough to see the difference. General Museveni came to power when I was transiting from P2 to P3. He has been president since then. I have been member of parliament for 9 years. Just entered my 10th year. You do not see the difference in terms of our roles, in terms of our positions, in terms of our responsibilities, the power we wield as leaders. You really do not see the difference. Even between 34 or 35 years and 9, 10 years, we have preached to this country. The reason why we want to tame the power of the presidency, why we wanted to limit the terms of the presidency, is because the president is a very powerful person, especially in Uganda. If you're talking about the constitution, he's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He controls the purse of the country. He makes literally 90% of the appointments in the country. And we have a past. And our forefathers who enacted or promulgated this constitution were wiser than us in saying there should be 2 terms for the president. The assumption is that because the president is very powerful, if you have a bad president like General Museveni, you need to assist the country, rid it of that bad person, at least maximum 10 years. Now, for a member of parliament who is controlled by the system and is not controlling the system, see the difference. The president controls the system. That even when he wanted age limit removed so that he can run again for presidency, Parliament was attacked. In 1966, in 1967, Parliament was surrounded. This time around, the Chamber of Parliament was desecrated upon, and the gentleman does not see the difference. My brother, as your leader, I have a big load to do in demonstrating the difference between us.
Okay.
I agree with the Honorable Gerard Siranda in one respect, that all the parties, all the key players in this country, all the individuals who are national need to sit together and determine the destiny of our country. I equally do not belong to the school of thought that people who are leading the country, yes, I know they are leading it badly, should be executed. No, we should sit down with them and give them the benefit of good leadership. For the Honorable Namayanja to move comfortably, and I can pledge and promise this, in the year 2021 June, the Honorable Rosemary Namayanja Nsereko will move comfortably in this country, even when she will be in the opposition. That is the country that we want to look up to.
All right. Very quickly, Dr. Siranda.
I want to appreciate all the callers, and why didn't we solve all our contradictions? Remember, we even set up a reunion to unify with everybody who had left, and we continue to believe that even when people have gone, I have just said that we continue opening the doors for the likes of Honorable Segona to come back to the party. These contradictions, some of them are way beyond. They have been there from Ben Chuanuka.
If you would be in the party.
I am in the party, and we will keep Jaja, like the Uganda say, and you will find us.
All right.
Because the party has to exist. I will leave, but the party will be there. And we'll continue doing the same. Our preoccupation now is to make sure that the party processes go on, is to make sure that members now that we are responsible for remain very comfortable and stay within the party. The challenges of why I'm in the office is the constitution that puts me there. We try to go to an election. We were advised by the legal advisor. We lead by processes. When we were planning to do election, another person died. When we were planning to do another died. So we went to the National Executive Committee, where I have one vote. And we decided that we organize a process where we'll fill all these positions, including new positions. We came to National Council. We went to National Council after the debate. People moved the motion. And when the motion, when the team that has left felt that their side had lost, they decided to go and sit somewhere, even with the wrong party, DPU. Our party is the Democratic Party, is at DPU. We went to court because they were gazetted officers then of our party, came up with letterheads, and they were confusing the party. So we said, what was this? So we went to court to just stop people that were using our name to misrepresent the facts around the party. And court has ruled then on that. We want to appreciate everybody that has stood with the party. The party will continue surviving. I call upon every DP member. We're having the National Executive Committee sitting on Wednesday to approve processes and programs
how many members
on the NDC.
Okay.
Whatever is not your concern, because you're a former member now.
All right, let's go to Honorable Rose Namayanja, because I have a question that has come on my phone here. Honorable Rose Namayanja, and somebody is saying, I am Kyomya James, the General Secretary for the NRM Youth League in Jinja District. NRM has totally failed to abide by the rule of law, like the party top leadership always claims. The High Court of Uganda under Justice Byabashaija Andrew gave a court judgment of Kyomya James and 3 others versus the National Resistance Movement, which was in their favor. The judgment was read on the 16th of August 2019, was instructing NRM to pay as per court judgment worth over 200 million to them. In other words, that is coming from a case in election-related matter that NRM is now violating the NRM constitution if they go ahead to organize the forthcoming delegates conference before settling the previous anomalies which happened in the previous delegates conference.
I think, first of all, that one knows the dynamics of our party. We have the legal department and everything. Let him come to the party headquarters. I'm not privy to the ruling that he's talking about, but if we go to our offices, we certainly can get much more than that and know whether he, because the person telling you is the complainant and he was a party to the case.
Well, we have a platform like this, and that's why Ugandans, either they call for those who can send their messages.
I am not sure of the facts and everything right now, but I want to say that there is this opposition rhetoric that tries to portray President Museveni and the NRM as the worst government that has graced this nation. And I want to say, without fear of contradiction, that it's not in tandem with what happens on the ground, with what goes on in the countryside. Because yesterday but one, I was with one of the civil society leaders, and we are not in politics and saying anything, but he was telling me that he moved from Kampala to Mbarara, to Fort Potro, to Masindi, to Arua, to Gulu, and then Karamoja, and came back to Uganda, and he covered only less than 50 kilometers of Maram, which was also under construction. That is development that people look at, other than the words we say here on TV and radio and everywhere. But the people in those areas that have taken, that were taking 6 hours to reach Kampala and are now taking only 2 hours or 3 hours, they are seeing the difference, and it is upon that the NRM party is being elected. Two, for us as a party, as NRM, we do not make so much significance in today's, we don't look at so much, I mean, with not so much significance, really, the exits of today from DP to NUP, because this is just formalizing, and I think they're just waiting for this period that is provided for legally for the 1 year. But otherwise, it has been the issue in Uganda with, there's what we call Kaundo Kakubye Dinisa, the marriage in Tibabadeo, Kaundo Kakubye Dinisa. It's just formalizing, really, because the entire team of the 12 MPs have been working with the People Power, and which is now NUP, and it is just formalizing. So there is nothing basically new that the NRM party would say it's you know, it's trouble. But I just want to say that we have seen this. We have seen agendas, coalitions, platforms, fora formed every different outfits.
But you know, you have also lost the Honorable Nambesho, you have lost the Honorable Samba.
Those were 29 MPs, by the way. I heard you talk about them, and that's what I started with when I said reconciliation. There were 29 MPs that they called rebel MPs, and 26 of them are back and ready to contest and have picked nomination forms to contest in the NRM primaries. So I was saying we have seen different agenda formed prior to elections. We have seen platforms formed, coalitions, alliances, and everything every time we go for elections. And for us as a party, we just ready ourselves for the processes. We go through the entire processes internally. And I want to applaud Dr. Silanda when he talks about all of us, whether in government, the party in government, and in the opposition, we all have a role to play.
But you know, even
in
yourself,
strengthening the democracy internally of our political
with all respect,
parties.
even yourself, you're accused of intimidating some people in favor of the others. A gentleman called, I think Charles Nsereko, that was, you were favoring him in the primaries, and the person who want to contest against him, you're making it very hard for them.
I cannot make anything hard because I am not the electoral commission.
Well, there
and
was
our
that
laws
allegation
are very
against
clear.
you.
It's just allegation, as you have said it, but I want him to bring the evidence and go through the processes. Otherwise, as a party leader, we are not conducting primaries for the party. It is the electoral commission that does that, and they do so. You have seen ministers losing in primaries, sitting ministers, historicals, losing in primaries. So I just want to say, for us, we are ready as a party to take on any outfit in whatever
30 seconds, beginning with you, Honorable Segona, your parting shot, then Dr. Suranda. And
well, like I said, it's about democratizing this country. We must start with our own institutions. For the claim that you know, people did not like the DP president is false. These are the same people who carried him to Mbale. These are the people he's been working with. I think for the last time, let me talk about my party. let me focus on the future. For the people in the countryside, wait for us in NUP. What the NRM is not able to do in 35 years, we are going to demonstrate that it's possible to do in the next 2 months or 3 before the election. Do not worry, because the snail speed of the old people in the NRM is something we have come to solve. Keep safe against COVID. Do not follow the examples of the bad leaders from NRM who are not bothered about the standard operating procedures. Please observe them to the extent that you can. And have a good night.
Dr. Saranda, a parting shot very briefly.
To the DP members out there, we want to appreciate all of you that have kept with the party. We are running the party processes. We're going to the delegate conference. Those that want to compete for the positions, it is high time. I think if you wanted to run for positions, it would be wrong and then justifiable for you to run away when the position that you wanted is going to be open and ready to be voted for. We call upon all our chairpersons to get ready. The process is going to be approved on Wednesday. And we want to wish all our colleagues that have been with us and have gone to the new home, we wish them all the best. And I hope they will maybe take a shorter time to see off the regime. Biggest thing is that they are still in the same line. We're all working together. And our olive branch is still open. Honorable Segona with your team. We still believe the DP is still open for you.
Parting shot.
My parting shot is to appeal to our members to ensure that during this process of primaries, let us compete, knowing that we are one family. Let us maintain the cohesion in the party. And I just want to inform you that next Tuesday on the 18th, we shall be having the National Executive Council, or the NEC of NRM. And this time round, in contrary to what Honorable Segona is saying, but in conformity to the standard operating procedures, we are not going to converge in Nambole for NEC or the National Conference. NEC will take place on the 18th. In 30 different locations, and we shall ensure that at every location we don't have more than 60 people converging together or 50 people converging together, and there will be social distancing and all the standard operating procedures complied upon. On the 19th, the candidates for Central Executive Committee positions will be addressing the entire membership wherever you will be, the members of the National Delegates Conference. Our candidates will be at Plot 10 Chadondo, the party headquarters, and they will be addressing the members through broadcast. And on the 20th, the National Delegates Conference, we shall take the decisions. And even then, at that time, we are not going to have members converging together, but having listened to the campaigns on the 19th, on the 20th, we expect you to come at the health booth or standard operating procedures tent. From there, get accredited, go and vote for your candidate, and then move away. And from there, we shall have the elections announced, and the agents will be there, and the elections will be announced, and we know the decisions.
Thank you.
So stay safe.
Thank you so much, Honorable Rosna Mayanja. Thank you so much, Dr. Gerard Saranda, and thank you very much, the Honorable Medadi Segona. Like they have said, we know over 1.6 million elective positions. That means we have almost 2 or 3 million people who will be running around our country telling us that they are going to change our lives. Most of them, they won't. And some of them will be coming with sugar and salt and thinking that's your price. Sometimes they have no shame in their game. But listen to them, read their manifestos. Some of them have flowery language in the manifestos. Maybe understand their record, understand their conduct, and take your pick from an informed position in peace. Good night, and God bless Uganda.